So our next guest is going to be a bit of a different one today. He did have quite an interesting playing career from Grand Prairie, Alberta originally. Grew up playing there, AAA when he was in U15 and U16. He eventually played at OHA Edmonton, U18, and a season in the Northwestern Junior Hockey League before deciding to fully commit to baseball, where he's currently going to the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology and playing for the Edmonton Riverhawks. Please welcome Billy Barbarich. Billy, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Did I mess anything up in that intro there, or was that sound pretty accurate?
Yeah, did you get all his facts right there?
That was everything sounded good there. Yeah, that was
right.
Good.
Okay, cool. Good. Well, we're excited to have you on. Obviously, we talked a while ago, and this has been in the works, so we're excited to have a guy who's kind of pursuing something different right now compared to our usual interview, but obviously still definitely want to talk about your hockey career as well. I think that's probably where we'll start, actually. Joe, anything you wanna say before we get into it here? Or?
I think it's just cool to hear from someone who started out playing hockey and then ended up switching up and still playing like baseball at a pretty high level. It's pretty sick. Because I played baseball. I kind of did the opposite of what you did. I played baseball until I was 18. Played college prep or whatever, and then decided to drop it and went full-time hockey. Right.
Okay.
So it's kind of So I did. I kind of did the opposite of what you're doing, but it's just cool to hear kind of how it worked out.
Yeah, and then for both of us, like baseball was like Joe.
Me and Owen played together.
It was our number two. Yeah, it was our number two sport our whole lives. So obviously that's just a little extra. We're excited to talk about that. But just kind of take us back to the beginning. Let's see. You can talk hockey and baseball beginnings. Kind of who got you into those sports when you were a kid, or when did you start playing, and just kind of how did it grow from the start? Especially as a kid from Grand Prairie, it's not like baseball's something you'd really expect to come out of there.
Yeah, I got into baseball and hockey through my dad. I started playing at about age 4. Played for a small town team, maybe like 500 people, called the Rycroft Sharks.
Oh, wow.
And started out in initiation and just worked my way up through till about Adam. And then my second year Adam, they were having tryouts for Pee Wee. So I was the underage and I ended up making the A team there. And then I was thinking like hockey could be something. And just thinking like that. And then after that, I played Pee Wee AA. And then I just kind of worked my way up through the AA, AAAs, all through there. I played like almost every level you can think of minor hockey. I played Bantam AA, AAA, played U16 AAA, played U18 AAA. Like I just, kind of worked my way up. And then for baseball, kind of started up right around the same time as hockey, maybe a little later. Played for a team called the Rycroft Rage, just a little minor ball team. And then there was tryouts held in a town called Manning for a provincial team. And it was a Pee Wee team, and they were tier 1. And then my dad asked if I wanted to go try out. So I said, why not? See what happens. And then so I went out there. Had a good time, had a good tryout, made that team, and then we ended up winning provincials that we won it that following summer. Oh, nice. And I had a really good provincial. I think I led all of provincials by like 30 stolen bases or something like that. It was something pretty cool.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
you're just running around the bases and everyone's making errors and shit.
Yeah. I was first pitch steal every time on first and second. I'd just be snagging them. And then so we got in there, and then I went back to that same Manning team the next year, and then we won provs again, and I led again in stolen bases by like crazy or something like that. And then I got on base really good. There was no like official like batting average, but I was like, it was pretty up there for sure.
Yeah.
And then I actually decided to take about 2 or 3 years off of baseball because I thought hockey was going to be the way. Yeah, I thought hockey was going to be my way. So and I took a couple years off, came out here to Edmonton the first time to play for OHA, who I billeted with Harrison Bolt, who was on this pod.
Bolt, that was the connection, eh?
Yeah. But billeted with him. He's a great guy. I love that guy. And then
I train with him all the time. He's a beauty.
And then I got back up into baseball last year. Played a season for a team called the Northern Lights, U18 AAA team. I was a catcher at first, and then like I just had to get the rust off. It was a hell of a couple of first practices. And then after that, decided to reach my name out to some colleges. Hawks got back to me, and then came out here, and I was feeling really good. And yeah, we're up to here now.
Wow, that's quite the story. So it
Pretty
really
crazy
went back
story,
and
man.
forth. That's the craziest part for sure.
Yeah. They were both my number one sports. Like I couldn't really
Right.
choose between either. And then I ended up choosing hockey. And I think that might have been the wrong decision. I think if I had stayed with baseball the whole time, I think I would have been even better than where I am right now. But yeah.
Right.
You're forced to like choose kind of pretty early, and then you don't really know like as you develop as like a person, or like if you change your mind or whatever, like you can't really go back on your decision, can you? Like it's like
Yeah.
but you ended
Exactly.
up doing it, and then it's like it ended up kind of working out in your favor a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've always been a huge sports guy. My three sports were hockey, baseball, and golf. So I've kind of like trained myself to like be as good as I possibly can on them. And then those would be my backup plans as they came through.
Right.
And like, yeah, and I can't really do golf anymore though, because the swing kind of gets messed up in baseball and everything.
Yeah, I get that.
You get a big slice. You slice the ball. Are you lefty or righty?
I'm a righty swing.
Yeah, so it's sliced and it's cutting off to the right, eh?
Yeah, that was like one of the biggest problems I had when I was golfing, and then I just worked on it. I just tried anything I could to not cut it out like that, because like there, on a few rounds, there's been a fair amount of clubs thrown, like just stuff like that from those slices and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then for golf, there's an actual little side story, but I have a cousin. His name is Max Sekulich. He played on the PGA Tour. He's on the Asian Tour right now. And
Oh, wow.
I send him like videos of my golf swing and stuff. Just ask him how it looks. And I sent it to him one time, and he was like, "Wow, I'm really impressed." And then I just was kind of stuck with hockey and baseball at the time. And then he wanted me to like quit both of them to go golfing.
To play golf.
And, yeah. And then I was like, I don't know about that, because golf was kind of been like stuck in the number 2 position, and I just play it for fun and just like go for like golf when I was like maybe 14 was like that was a full-time job for me. Like I'd go out in the summertime from like 9 a.m. to like close, just doing rounds on the course.
So you're an absolute stick, eh?
As if you need another thing to choose from, eh? Like a third option.
Right? That's crazy.
Yeah, and then back to when we were talking, he ended up asking me if I wanted to go caddy for him on this little tournament called the Mickelson National. And it just was so much fun. Like and I kind of studied the game of golf a lot too, so I had good knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we went there. I was carrying the clubs for him, and I'd put in like every once in a while, I'd give him some of my input. There's one putt I remember, it was on like the 5th or 6th hole. It was one for birdie. Wasn't really a must make, but it was nice to have. And then I was like, that looks like it's on a table. It might fall right. And then he's like, no, I think that's going to break up and left. And then he ended up hitting the putt. And right after he missed it, like just by a little bit. And he's like, fuck, Billy, you're right. And I was in front of about like 700 people. And I just laughed. It was so funny.
There was that many people there? Damn.
Yeah. And we were in the final grouping for the final day, like to win everything. And he was 2 shots back, I think. And going on to the 18th.
Wow.
Going on to the 18th, it was like pretty tight. I think we were all within 1 shot. There was like 3,000 people like on the green. It was crazy.
That's insane.
Also, where was this tournament?
This was in Calgary. This was at the new.
It was in Calgary. Okay.
Yeah, it was in that new Mickelson private club.
Wow, that's cool. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was. Wow. It was a hell of an experience.
Dude, like the fact that you've thrown golf in the mix too without us even knowing that is crazy. Yeah, we'll get into that, but we'll kind of probably just take it back a bit for now. As far as your hockey career, I kind of just wanted to ask about your bantam years. I know you had mentioned you went to a Western League camp. Obviously, you played at OHA. So, especially, I mean, I'm assuming that was the time when you would quit baseball too, right? When you were at OHA.
When I was at OHA, I was still pretty stuck on hockey. What was it? Summer before I got that invite to Swift. So I went out there. Yeah, I went out there. I didn't have a very good camp because I got COVID like right before the camp, and I tested negative.
No way.
Yeah, I tested negative the day we had to leave. And I was so hyped that I tested negative, but then I didn't
Yeah, of
realize I was
course.
2 weeks behind everyone in conditioning. So then I
Yeah,
was like,
that's tough.
yeah, this could. So I just tried to grind it out. It went like the first couple weren't bad. I think our first game that we played, I had a pretty nice assist on a 2-on-1 for the first goal of like the whole thing, which I
Well,
was
there
like,
you
okay,
go.
this could go somewhere. And
Yeah.
then there's a practice, and I don't know if you guys might know Clark Caswell, right? Captain of Swift Current right now.
I know the name. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of them. I don't really
Little
personally.
younger. Yeah, a little younger for us.
We're old, dude. We're like ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the same age as me. He's a 5th round pick by Seattle, I believe. And
Okay.
so we were on the same team for that, and we were doing a practice little part. And I was like, we were going up against, and it was a 1-on-1 drill, and you kind of just both stack on the corners of the blue line, and then one pops out, one goes straight down, just on like that. And I was against Clark at the time, and I was like, okay, because he was like the 6th overall pick of that dub draft or something like that. And I was just a camp invite. I was like, damn, okay. And then, we went down, and I was like trying something out I thought was so cool. And he just locked me up like I'm nothing. And I was just like, wow, all right.
Yeah. So I mean, I got to go to Seattle's camp in my Bantam year, and that was, I mean, it's a pretty overwhelming experience going there for the first time. Obviously, I mean, you're seeing, these guys who you think are probably like future, at the very least, future NHL draft picks if they don't end up making the NHL. Like I remember at Seattle's camp, their first round pick that year was Kuchaslo. He ended up being like, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd in the league in points, I think 1 year, or goals when he was older. But I think he was like 8th or 9th overall, and we were playing against his team. And like I thought he was going to be like this nasty skill guy, right? Like early on in camp, not too worried. My first shift against him, he ran me through the boards harder than I've ever been hit. And I was like, I'm a camp invite from Mission. You're a first round, like, fuck off, dude. Like he smoked me. But anyways, yeah, the main point there is just like, how did you kind of deal with that? Or, I mean, obviously it's a cool experience, but yeah, like it's overwhelming, and it's pretty intimidating as well when you're first getting there.
Yeah. Like I didn't even get the camp invite till like early August too, and it was like end of August. And and when I got that invite, I just remember like, damn, this could actually be a thing.
Yeah,
and then when I actually got to camp, it was just like, it was kind of crazy because like all these kids that were there, I've like looked at and I've known their names from the draft. And I was like, okay, it was like I was just a regular guy meeting celebrities. Like I didn't even really know what to do. And I just remembered I was there to play hockey. I did tried my best to get through it, and then didn't make it too far in the camp, and then went to OHA. And then, but yeah. And that year was a little different though, because our draft year was in like the middle of our U16 year because of
COVID really messed it all up, right?
Yeah, and it was really weird.
Are you an 04 or are you?
I'm 06.
06,
You're 06.
Think,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. Oh wait, dude. What am I saying? Yeah, because COVID was. Yeah, that's my bad. I was like, I'm way in advance. Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah, I remember that. And then is the draft still held at the same time as it was? Because everyone was saying that it was way better to have it later.
It was it was kind of weird because like the average draft is in May sometime. It's kind of early. It's kind of early May.
Yeah.
And then our draft year was December 8th. I remember it because I was in school that day, and I had gotten a questionnaire from Spokane, and I was like, "Oh, I'm a lock." I thought it was like so going. And then I had that Safari browser open the whole day, all through class, just waiting for that name to pop up. And like I was seeing like a bunch of my buddies going too. And then my buddy Caden Longley, actually, he went the last pick of that draft.
And Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, he was the last.
He won the car.
And now he's a stud for Kelowna. And I was like,
wow. Oh, good for him then, man. Yeah. That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. Same like our draft year. I think, Joe, I don't know if you remember this, but we were sitting in Spanish class together, just like spamming refresh on our phones. And we're seeing so many, you see so many guys, and in the back of your mind, you're just praying that there might be that chance, right?
Dude, I didn't have a fucking shot.
Well, I was hoping at that point I had a shot. I thought I did at that point. But yeah, obviously you never ended up coming anywhere close. They probably made the right decisions there, but obviously you'll want it to happen.
Yeah. That was like I was telling a couple of my buddies in the class, I was like, yo, I could go like late here. Like I was
you go late,
confident.
right?
Yeah. And then little did I know there was kids who've talked to like every team in the league, and I just had that one questionnaire. But
the one folder.
I didn't even get a questionnaire. It was like I had heard that a scout asked our coach about me that year twice. So, and it was like, I think it was like, I want to say Kamloops in Seattle or Kamloops and someone else were the teams I had heard had just mentioned my name. And so every time their picks coming up, I'm like, come on, like this could be the one. Like,
Kamloops talked about, I think he talked about me, you, and Abram Owen.
Yeah. Didn't your dad know the guy?
My dad knew the guy.
Didn't your dad knew the scout or something like
that?
Yeah,
it was scout or something. I have his card somewhere. He like gave me his card and he like talked to me, and I was like, dude.
Well, you got to say they whiffed on Abram pretty bad.
Yeah,
Holy. Yeah. I'm not sure if you know Abram Weeb. He was a guy he was playing like Mission minor hockey in his Bantam draft year, and now he's North Dakota's best defenseman and got drafted by Vegas somehow. So
wow.
And like a dub. I think he got one dub camp invite. Like he wasn't even on the radar.
His rights got picked up though. His rights were picked up after he got sick. But
his rights weren't picked up until he was already in the BCHL.
That's what I mean. Like once he got.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, at that point, yeah. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, we kind of keep getting off track a little bit there. So kind of maybe tell us. I mean, obviously, I see you played a year of junior here in the Northwest League. I don't know much about that league. I'm not really familiar. Maybe just talk about your year there, and obviously with it being your last year of hockey, did you know that going in? Like, I'm assuming this was kind of the year you made your big decision, right? So just kind of tell us about that a little more.
Yeah, so that's a junior B league that I played in my last year.
Yeah,
I went there after I got cut as a third year from my hometown U18 AAA team, and so that was pretty like devastating to me. And I was like, yeah, I think hockey might be coming to an end here.
Right.
And then went there because I knew the coach. My dad knew the coach of that team, and it was a fun year. Like there were a bunch of older guys too. Like it's a U21 league and everything.
Oh, okay,
yeah, and it was just like a little like Northern Alberta type of league. It was a lot of fun to play in. I did pretty well. But like the coolest part was like that was kind of the shit in every little town was their junior B team. So there was just a lot of fans that came out to it and everything. Like when we went up to this place called Lacrete, if you guys know where that is, it's way Northern Alberta.
I don't actually, but okay, yeah.
That
sounds like Northern Alberta.
Yeah, and it's but every time we went up there, it's like it's a dry town too, so there's like nothing you can do on a Saturday night. So whenever we went up there, stands were packed. There was like probably 1,500 people in the arena just watching a junior B.
That's sick.
It was so
fun,
cool.
dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Isn't there a couple BC teams in that league, like Dawson Creek and Fort St. John or something? I want to say.
Yeah, Fort St. John.
Yeah,
and Dawson.
Okay.
They're Fort St. John's wagon usually every year.
Yeah,
they have a couple guys who goes to ACHA that college league. Like they actually,
that's where I play actually.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, that's impressive. They're committing ACHA from.
Are they going? Do you know if they're going
Northwest
ACHA D1 or are they going like?
I don't remember. I think whatever.
Fort St. Joe, I think. Fort St. John, like sometimes has guys who have like 100 points in 30 games.
Yeah,
like Fort St. because it's kids who played like Fort St. John produces like sick hockey players, and if they don't go far, they're like, fuck it, I'll just rip it up at home and have a packed barn. Like that's why. So I don't doubt that there might be the odd like ACHA D1 commit from there, to be honest, based on what I know. But
yeah, the most of the colleges that I see what's it called again? That they commit to. The most is called Marion, and I don't know if that's a Div 3 or not, for ACHA or not. But yeah, there was one, like, I think he was a scout for that team, and he came out to one of our games in Fort St. John, and he says, like, Fort St. John's pretty much their farm team. Like, they pick from them all the time and everything.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll have to look into that league a bit more. I haven't, like I said, I haven't heard much about it. So,
they're D2 ACHA.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Well, anyways, yeah. So the next one I had, obviously, so it's crazy to me you took that much time off baseball and now you're playing college. So
I mean, you're up in college.
Yeah. So you said you reached out to some teams, but I mean, how did you I mean, I guess you kind of just talked about like you getting cut from that team was kind of like one of your decision points, but what like really was like the breaking point when you were like, all right, I'm back all in on baseball. I'm going to college after you played for that year. Like just kind of talk a little bit more about that transition. And sorry,
Yeah.
I think Joe wanted to say something there. Add
No, that
something
was
there,
literally
maybe.
the question I was gonna
Okay.
ask.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. So like after I got cut there, and then I was kind of playing. It was about halfway through I was about right at the start actually for the junior B season. This ad came up on Facebook, and they were looking for players for the team. And I was like, you know what? Might as well try it out. I don't think hockey is gonna really go anywhere.
Right.
And then I went there, and I was a little bit rusty. I didn't do terrible, but they liked me. And then I went out to a couple of their practices. There was really no like tryouts, but I went out to a practice, and then they were either going to decide if they liked me or not. And so I went out to the practice, and I showed pretty well. They put me at third for that practice, and my arm strength was just nowhere near third. Yeah, they stuck me in the outfield, which I was pretty good at. Like, I was a fast guy. I could get under balls. I could reball as well. And then once I got out to the Hawks here, so actually to retract a little bit, my coach told me for teams, I can't remember if it was in Canada or if it was somewhere else or just like all over, but he told me that you have to reach out to them first for them to actually be able to talk to you and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I sent a bunch of emails to like some JUCOs and then some other Canadian schools here. I didn't really expect to get into a JUCO though, because that's pretty good nowadays. And
Okay.
then, but yeah, so then I reached out to them. They said, yeah, I can't remember. I don't think I sent any clips though. But yeah, so sent out an email, just said my stats, just how tall I am, what my 60 time was, and all that stuff. And then I committed in like maybe mid-June to come. And
Okay.
then I came out there. I started out as catcher outfielder, and I wasn't terrible. I just grinded that whole summer to actually be somewhat at a college level of even just a baseball player in general. And then yeah, started catching outfielder, and then I moved to second base because I had a little bit of a weaker arm, but I was an athletic guy.
Yeah.
And so I played there, and I played well. I played well defensively, and then they kept me there. And now it's just really just working on the batting and just getting ready
Okay.
for the season part.
Nice. So this is going into your second year now?
This is going into my first year.
Oh, this is going into your first year.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I got you. Okay. Wow. That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like just that story is all. Joe, you got any more like baseball questions here? Like,
No, I was just saying, like, I wanted to hear your thoughts on like a comparison. Like, do you find more joy in playing baseball, or do you find that hockey was like, because they're different sports, right? But like, I feel like in Canada at least, for me it was always like baseball in the summer, hockey in the winter.
yeah.
Because baseball you couldn't play in the winter and it was just a big break, and then summer I just didn't want to be playing hockey when it was sunny out. So I kind of like I really love playing both sports, but like, do you find more joy playing baseball, or do you find like you have more fun playing hockey because you played at high levels for both?
It was fun at times for both. Like baseball, I love. It's my number one now, and it's like it's a lot more. I don't want to say like laid back, but like just like the
In a way
morning
it is.
practices and putting on your equipment for hockey and like just going out there, and those are kind of what burnt me out because I was doing that quite a bit. And then in
Right.
hockey, or in baseball, sorry, all you got to do is just like you just throw on your cleats, get dressed up, go out there, and you just have fun with your boys. Like it's not like super like hard on your body either. Like you can play
Right.
it for a
Yeah.
long time, and like I do enjoy that a lot too. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. You play it in like sunny weather all the time. It's always good weather, good vibes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, it's transition like the hockey part, like the hockey conditioning, you do it a lot because you're always out there. You're like 30, 45-second shifts, and you got to
Yeah.
be,
Of course.
yeah, you got to be good for those, good to go the whole time. And then in baseball, you're out there for all 9 innings. All you're doing is just like your pre-step routine, and then just that sudden burst for 5-10 seconds for wherever the play goes to. And
Right.
then you're just, yeah, like it's not as like, you don't need to be super conditioned for it, I guess you could say, just like
Yeah,
long
it's more about
strides and
your
stuff.
explosiveness and footwork than it is about your
Yeah.
actual like conditioning and top
Mhm.
speed, I guess.
Yeah, and there's like and like in hockey, you kind of just need to be like lean and strong and stuff. In baseball, you need to be like muscle, like big and like be able to hit far and like do all that, have strong arm and everything.
Yeah, it was hockey. You don't want to get top heavy or anything like that, right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's
you just
right.
want to yeah.
Can't be slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's the like? I mean, I guess obviously going into your first season, what's the travel schedule like for you guys? Like, are you guys all over Canada or mostly just Alberta? What's kind of the teams you'll be playing against?
So in April, our first 2 weekends were home, and then our next weekend we go to UFV, which is in Abbotsford.
Oh,
We go
yeah, that's
there.
Sounds
20
like right
minutes
where
from
we
us.
are. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, 20 minutes.
I know a
that's
couple
right
buddies that
there.
play on the Cascades actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then
Yeah.
yeah, so we go there for 2 games, and then we come back and we play like a weekday game, and then we're right in Calgary after that playing
Okay.
UFC. And then just a couple more games. Like it's kind of a little bit of a random day schedule. Like it's not like set weekends every time. Like we could play on like a
Right.
Tuesday or a Monday or something like that. And we have 30 games from the start of April to like just into May. And then yeah, so we're like there's a lot of games to play.
Holy shit,
Man.
dude. Just in the oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's insane. It's
I
like
think
major league schedule.
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah.
say 165 or 160, 162 or whatever.
162.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shorter season. Like there's only I think if we get in playoffs, maybe it'll be like 40, 45, I think.
Okay.
And then
Fair enough.
yeah, and then so yeah, we play quite a bit. I think the most we have is like 2 days off in a row, maybe 3.
Wow.
And then yeah,
Okay.
and then we're just always going. And then yeah, we're just building up in practice till then.
How hard are they
Nice.
throwing? Like, are
The
guys touching
one
95 or 90 or like what are we saying here?
the strongest pitcher in the organization right now is throwing like I think he topped 94.
94. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dude,
Yeah.
I know. We have at Drury, like where I'm playing hockey, we're NCAA D2 school. So
Okay.
we have a D2 baseball team. And a lot of those guys are throwing like 95, 96. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering, I
See
was just
that.
like comparing.
Yeah.
Like at that point, it's not how hard you throw, it's your stuff and
Yeah,
your
once you get to
location
a
and
certain
shit.
age, right? Or
Yeah.
a certain
It's
point.
your
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, your mix. Like you could like that before I faced him in lives and stuff before, and like he'd throw like I think because he wasn't pitching too much, and I think he gassed like maybe 90, 91, something like that. And then I'd just be watching it. I couldn't even react. Like, and I'm usually a first pitch take guy. Like I
Yeah.
kind of like to time him up in that box. And then you'd think another one's coming right at you, and it just fall off a table in front of you, and you just be swinging just the wind farmer. And then, yeah.
Big
Yeah,
West.
it's really got to be real quick in your wits.
Yeah, I bet.
That's good. Yeah, it just takes me back to the baseball days, and I kind
Yeah,
of
I know. I
low-key
keep
miss the
just thinking
school.
about baseball now.
I miss the sport, bro. It was actually really fun.
It's just fun, man. Like the dugout is so fun.
Yeah. And
Like
like
it doesn't get
shit.
much better.
yeah, and you're all buddies, like even you all got your own handshakes and everything, and you're all just having fun. And like one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts is the chatter too. Like just saying
Oh,
whatever comes to mind and nobody cares. It's just
Yeah.
just to hype the
Yeah.
boys up. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's such a different vibe around it. I love it.
Oh, and I just remember our trip to Spokane, like that one AAA weekend, or was it AA or AAA, bro?
Dude, do you mind if I tell it quick? It was
Yeah, you
AAA.
go for it, buddy.
So I was pretty good when I played baseball, but I quit a bit younger than Joe. Like I quit when I was like 15 to focus on hockey.
Yeah.
So I hadn't played baseball in like 2 years. I think I played half a year of single A and midget second year. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm good. That was fun. I'm good. And then I get a random phone call in like late August one year from or I think he called my dad, I think, but Joe's coach. And he asked me if I wanted to come down to Spokane with them and play all these AAA American teams. I didn't play baseball for a real team in 3 years. And like I never used a wood bat, nothing. And I went down there and I played it. It was so fucking fun. We got mercied every game.
No, we
You're
didn't get
playing,
mercy,
like-
bro. We won one.
we got we in the round robin 3 games, we got mercied all 3, and then in our consolation game, we mercied the team we played.
Did we get mercied every game, bro?
We got mercy. Well, yeah, 4 games.
I thought we got
mercied
smacked around once, and then like it wasn't close, but we played the whole game.
We played the
okay,
Idaho State champions, the Oregon State champions, and the best team in Calgary in the round robin.
Yeah.
From what I heard, I mean Calgary Royals. Is that right?
Calgary Royals, I know, is a hockey team for sure.
That's their hockey team. That's why I said that. Okay, never mind. I forget what they were called then. But yeah, no, that tournament was a blast. But yeah, that was a shocker for me stepping into that after not playing in years. Like I'm used to facing 60, and these guys are throwing like low 80s at that point, probably. Hey,
I still got photos from that on.
Yeah, I probably got the odd one, but yeah. Anyways, sorry, Billy. I'm pretty much good here, Joe. Do you got much else you want to ask?
I'd say that's pretty much wraps, dude. We've been going for half an hour here, so
yeah. Billy, is there anything like you wanted to talk about, or anything you thought of, or story you wanted to tell, anything like that before we let you go here, or could be give me anything like.
Oh yeah, I guess I got one. This is from our we got a Fall World Series installed, and it's it's called a Fall World Series. Like it's just like just a tournament where we pick, like there was a draft and everything. If you go on the Instagram and check it out, and you could pick all from the organization, and then we play games. There's 3 teams, and we just play round robin games, then go into playoffs and everything. And in our final game, it was such a barn burner too. Like we won the whole thing, but to get there, it was awesome. We played under the lights just to end it out, and we walked it off. And it was like we started out and we were up like maybe 5-2, 6-2, something like that. And then they started coming back. They got it to like maybe 10-6 or something like that. Yeah. And then so we were catching up, and it was 7 innings, and it was like maybe top 5, bottom 6. And then we started clawing our way back. We got up to, it was tied 11-11 going into the top of the 7th. And this one guy on our team hit an oppo down the line triple. And so with no outs either. So he was right there. He got batted in. It ended up being 12-11 going to the bottom of the 7th. And then they put in this guy who, like, he usually just carves. Like, he's got a curveball that just drops, and he could just make you look funny in the box. And like, we ended up getting some solid bats on balls, and we ended up loading the bases with no outs. And the guy hits like a chopper to like short, and it's just slow enough for the run to come in for us to walk it off 13-12 win the whole thing. And that was like under the lights and everything. It was so cool.
No, that sounds like a blast, man.
13-12.
Yeah, it was a barn burner.
That's a burner. That's a burner.
13. Oh, dude, and the fact it switched, like they scored first as well, and you guys had to clutch up too. That's crazy, man.
It was such a game, just so back and forth. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Nice. How'd you meet Harry? 1 sec. This is the last thing. I'll end on this. How'd you meet Harry Bolt?
Okay, so this is a little bit of a funny story. So we played U16 against each other all the time, and like, I think I led my team in points and he was leading his in points. So we were kind of like, just like felt like kind of those guys on the ice. And so we'd yap quite a bit. And then there was one time where they were in Grand Prairie and he got hit behind the net and he laid on the ice like he was hurt. And then he got right back up. And like after the penalty was called, and then the ref gave him an embellishment, and we just started giving it to him on the bench. And then when I got to OHA, I didn't know he was on that team, and then he was there, and I was like, "Wait, weren't you the guy who was laying behind the net against Grand Prairie?" And then we just kind of started laughing about that, and then I ended up building with him, and that was just such a fun year. We just did like everything together. It was awesome. We were just like brothers. Wow. Like there was one time right before the season ended, or it might have been after. We were still in school, and I think the season just ended. And then we stayed up till like 4 a.m. just doing trick shots. Like we were trying to film these trick shots with like ping pong balls. He would come from under like the balcony, and I'd be like, "Yo, you forgot your water bottle." And I'd try to throw it at him, and he'd try to open his bunny hug pocket just to like slide it right in there so perfectly. And we worked on that for like 3 hours straight, and we finally
Up
got it.
until
So hyped.
in the middle of the night, dude. We might need. Do you got a video of it? We might need to see that if you do.
Oh, I should have a video of it. Let me find
You
it.
might. Hey, if you find it, send it to us.
Yeah,
I
fire it
will.
to us after this.
Send
after
it.
the
Send
epi
it to
when
us.
it's
And we'll
uploaded.
fire it on.
Okay,
Fire it on
yeah.
the old edit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I will find it.
Well,
That's good.
awesome. That's all I got, man. Thank you so much for doing this. That was a great interview. It was interesting to hear from kind of a different perspective on where you're at with your sporting career. So yeah, that was a great one. Thank you so much for doing it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
having me
Yeah, it was
on.
good.
Awesome. This was a blast. Thank you guys.